When it comes to money, many people want to be told exactly what to do. They often ask specific questions, such as, I have $25,000. What should I do with it? When you tell people that you do not know what to do with your money, they are happy to tell you what to do, and their recommendation is that you give your money to them. In this video, the introduction of an enlightening journey from the best-selling book, Why We Want You to Be Rich, Two Men, One Message by the great authors Robert Kiyosaki and US President Donald Trump. Get ready to expand your mind, learn valuable lessons, and gain a deeper understanding of the principles that drive successful individuals. You'll not only gain knowledge, but also practical guidance to apply in your own life. This book is not a how-to book. Donald and Robert will not be telling you what to invest in. They will share with you how they think, why they win financially, and how they see the world of money, business, and investing. So grab your imagination and join us. Unleash your full potential with the Read Book channel, where you'll discover valuable insights and knowledge from renowned authors and speakers from around the world. Whether you're looking to improve your professional skills, achieve success, or build wealth, this channel is dedicated to providing you with the tools and resources you need to reach your goals. Join us on our journey to success and subscribe today. Let's learn and grow together. Why We Want You to Be Rich. Robert Kiyosaki and Donald Trump have an unlikely meeting in a Starbucks where they discuss the turbulent economic climate and the impact it has had on the middle class. They devise a plan to help people understand how to make their money work for them and how to create financial freedom. As they talk, the suspense builds, as it is unclear what will come of this meeting and what the two will do. Will they be able to make a difference, or will their plan be a failure? The rich are getting richer, but are you? We are losing our middle class, and a shrinking middle class is a threat to the stability of America and to world democracy itself. We want you to be rich so you can be part of the solution rather than part of the problem. Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki. Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki share a concern that the divide between the rich and the poor in America is increasing, leading to a shrinking middle class. They believe that this trend is creating a two-class society where individuals will eventually fall into one of two categories, rich or poor. The two want to help people achieve financial wealth. This issue of a disappearing middle class is not only a problem in America, but also prevalent in other G8 nations. In countries such as England, France, Germany, Japan, etc. Former Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan said, "As I have often said, this is not the type of thing which a democratic society, a capitalist democratic society, can really accept without addressing." He further discussed how the disparity in income between the wealthy and the rest of the U.S. population has grown to such an extent and at such a rapid pace that it could potentially endanger the stability of democratic capitalism. The problem is education. What did the Federal Reserve Chairman identify as the root cause of the issue? The one-word response was education. According to Mr. Greenspan, American students perform above the global average at the 4th grade level, but by the 12th grade level, they fall significantly behind. He believes that the lack of proper education is the main cause of the income gap between the rich and the poor. The skills that are learned in the early stages of education, such as literacy and numeracy, are essential for success later in life. He argues that poor education leads to lower income and a lack of opportunities, which contributes to the widening income gap and the shrinking middle class. Furthermore, he highlights that lack of education also negatively affects the economy, as it leads to a shortage of skilled workers, which makes it difficult for companies to grow and thus the economy as a whole. He says, "We have to do something to prevent that from happening." Donald and Robert attribute the issue to a lack of education, but they specifically emphasize the importance of financial education. They are both deeply concerned about the shortage of quality financial education in America at all levels. They attribute the United States' rapid decline from the wealthiest country in the world to the largest debtor nation in history to the lack of financial education. They believe that a weak U.S. economy and a weak U.S. dollar, which is the global reserve currency, can have negative effects on world stability. As is often said in other parts of the world, when the United States sneezes, the world catches cold. Both men are teachers. Both Trump and Robert are accomplished entrepreneurs and investors who have achieved international recognition for their business acumen. However, they are also educators at heart. Both men are best-selling authors and have developed educational board games, speak at financial education events, and have educational television programs. Donald Trump has the hit network television show The Apprentice, and Robert Kiyosaki has his show Rich Dad's Guide to Wealth on PBS, a highly respected educational public television network. Both men are educators not because they need more money, but because they care about the well-being of you, your family, this country, and the world. Typically, wealthy individuals who want to make a difference will donate money to causes they believe in. But Donald and Robert are giving not only their money but also their time. They believe that instead of just giving fish to feed someone for a day, it is better to teach them how to fish so they can feed themselves for a lifetime. Instead of just providing financial assistance to the poor and middle class, Donald and Robert are teaching them how to become financially literate. Additionally, a portion of every book sale they make is donated to other organizations that also promote financial literacy. Financial advice. Financial advice can vary depending on an individual's financial situation. For those who are considered to be in a lower income bracket, the advice may be to rely on government programs such as Social Security and Medicare for support. For the middle class, the advice is typically to focus on building wealth through traditional means such as getting a stable job, living below one's means, saving money, and investing in mutual funds for long-term growth. Many middle-class individuals tend to be passive investors, meaning they invest with the goal of not losing money rather than actively seeking out opportunities for growth. For the wealthy, the advice may be to take a more active approach to investing, seeking out opportunities for growth and maximizing returns. Books and resources such as those written by Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki often focus on teaching individuals how to expand their wealth and improve their overall quality of life through active investing strategies. A little history. In the hunter-gatherer era of human history, individuals lived in small communities and equality was prevalent. The leaders of these communities, known as chiefs, did not have a lifestyle that was significantly different from the rest of the group, lacking luxuries such as private jets, large financial assets, and generous severance packages. During the agrarian age, a two-tiered social structure developed, with the king and his wealthy associates on one level and everyone else, primarily peasants, on the other. The king typically controlled the land, and the peasants worked the land in exchange for a portion of their harvest. As a form of taxation, with the advent of the industrial age, the modern middle class was born in America, giving rise to a more democratic society where people owned their own property and had more economic freedom. The founding fathers of America were deeply inspired by the 5 tribes of the Iroquois Confederacy of what is now known as New England. They modeled their democracy after the tribal system, which elected representatives to an upper and lower house and featured a Supreme Court made up entirely of women. This model of democracy has been in place in America since its inception and remains influential today. While the founders of America were drawing inspiration from the Iroquois model of democracy, the concept of democracy and a middle class was still seen as an unattainable dream in Europe. However, in the United States, a powerful middle class and a democratic society were rapidly flourishing. This stark contrast between Europe and America highlighted the progressiveness of the United States and its commitment to democracy. In the current information age, the middle class is steadily shrinking and democratic capitalism is in decline. This has created a vast and ever-widening gap between the wealthy and the poor, unlike any seen in history before. It remains to be seen if this trend will result in a regression to the agrarian age, with its lack of democracy and two-tiered social structure, or if a new form of capitalism and democracy will emerge. Problems on the horizon. It is only now becoming apparent that global warming is having an effect, as well as the waning of the middle class. Most members of the middle class currently feel safe and secure and are content, even though they are aware that there are issues on the horizon. They think that their government will step in and take care of them and protect them. However, there is little that can be done as the problems are now global. For instance, the price of oil is determined by countries outside of the control of the United States. Terrorism is is not a war between nations, but rather a war on ideologies, and terrorists can strike anywhere and then blend into the population. Furthermore, globalization has caused the loss of many jobs in the United States, and multinational corporations are getting ever wealthier and more powerful than some nations. The World Wide Web has made globalization even easier, as it enables instantaneous communication all over the world. This means that communication is now possible at any time and any place. On the home front, environmentalists are noticing that certain species of frogs are disappearing, while economists are noting that pensions and health care are disappearing for the middle class and the poor. Soon, the largest baby boom generation in history will begin to retire, and most governments do not have the financial resources to fulfill their promises. Businessmen, not politicians. The growing problems facing the poor and middle class are expected to be taken care of by their elected government officials. Neither Donald Trump nor Robert Kiyosaki are politicians, though a strong movement for Donald to run for president is brewing. This book is written by them as entrepreneurs, investors, and educators, instead of promising to solve the reader's problems. It is not expected from the political and government officials to provide the necessary solutions, nor is entitlement to a secure, prosperous, and healthy life to be assumed. Donald and Robert instead advocate for becoming wealthy and part of the solution to the problems faced by the nation and the world. The main difference between businessmen and politicians is that businessmen focus on creating wealth by producing or providing goods and services, while politicians focus on influencing public policy, making laws, and representing their constituents. Businessmen have to focus on market conditions, competition, and profitability, and have to take risks in order to make a profit. Politicians, on the other hand, have to focus on their constituents' interests and the bigger picture of public policy. They often have the ability to make changes to laws and policies that can have a direct effect on the population, not a how-to book. When it comes to money, many people want a straightforward answer to what to do with it. They may come to you with an exact amount, such as $25,000, and expect a specific response. However, this book is not meant to be a step-by-step guide or collection of instructions. Instead, Donald and Robert will share their personal perspectives on money, business, and investing, including their strategies and thought processes. They will help you cultivate your own financial mindset and show you how to make smart decisions. A matter of vision. Most rich people do not want you to know what they know or their secrets to becoming rich. But Donald and Robert are different. They want to share their knowledge with you. One of the definitions of leadership is vision. This book is about vision, about seeing what most people never see through LLH. The eyes of two men who have won and occasionally lost at the game of money. Why We Want You to Be Rich is a book about how these two men think and why they think the way they do. Through their eyes, you will gain additional insight into how you can improve your financial future. A word of caution. In the world of money, there is another word often used: transparency. Transparency has many definitions. 3 definitions applicable to this book are: 1. Free from pretense or deceit. 2. Sheer enough to be seen through. 3. Readily understood. People desire greater clarity of vision so that they can make informed decisions with their own eyes. Unfortunately, our educational system fails to equip individuals with the necessary financial literacy to see for themselves, resulting in a lack of transparency. To compensate, people are compelled to entrust their money to someone else for investing, following a generalized mantra of work hard, save money, invest in mutual funds for the long term, and diversify. This is done without any clear vision, as they are unable to make informed decisions due to the lack of financial literacy. This book is not for those who accept working hard, saving money, investing in mutual funds for the long term, and diversifying as sound advice. Instead, it provides an alternative perspective that must be considered. Donald and Robert avoid investing in mutual funds due to the lack of transparency, as mutual fund companies are not obligated to reveal the true costs associated with their offerings. This lack of clarity does not concern amateur investors who are unable to discern these details, but professional investors like Donald and Robert demand transparency in all their investments. The advice of saving money and investing in mutual funds may be suitable for those of limited means, but it is not an effective strategy for those aspiring to become wealthy. This book offers a privileged glimpse into the world of the rich, as seen through the eyes of 2 successful men. How history effects today. This book will also discuss how history has brought us to this financial state of emergency. Some important dates are: in 1971, the concept of saving money became obsolete as the value of money was no longer tied to the gold standard. This meant that the value of money was no longer fixed and it became a currency instead. As a result, saving money became bad financial advice, and this is still true today as the middle class has very little in savings. Could it be because they know that saving is an obsolete idea? In 1973, the world was rocked by the first oil shock, which was caused by a political dispute. Today, however, the current oil shock is an actual supply and demand problem, which will have an effect on all of us. While some of us may become richer as a result of the oil shortage, the majority of us will become poorer due to its implications. This is a stark reminder of the importance of having reliable and secure access to energy sources and the need to make sure that we are not overly reliant on any single type of energy. In 1989, the Berlin Wall came down, signifying the end of communism as an economic system designed to protect the workers. At the same time, the World Wide Web was born, heralding the start of the information age. Suddenly, young entrepreneurs were becoming millionaires and billionaires through the internet, while baby boomers were losing their jobs due to the rapid changes in technology. This marked a significant shift in the global economy and highlighted the importance of staying ahead of technological advancements in order to remain competitive. Instead of being rewarded with salary increases as they did in the industrial age, many older workers are finding themselves replaced by younger individuals with up-to-date knowledge and skills. This is due to the fact that their years of experience and education are no longer applicable in our current technological age. As a result, many older workers are forced to work alongside younger colleagues and accept lower salaries. Are your skills obsolete? In 1996, the Telecom Reform Act was passed, ushering in a new era of global connectivity. This act enabled the world to be connected via fiber optic cable, making it possible for white-collar jobs to be outsourced to countries with lower costs of living. This means that it is now economically feasible to hire a programmer, doctor, lawyer, or accountant in countries where the cost of these services are much lower than in the US. This has allowed businesses to access high-quality services at a fraction of the cost, while simultaneously reducing their overhead costs. Are you working in an area that fiber optic cable could change? In 2001, China was granted accession to the World Trade Organization (WTO), allowing for greater trade between the country and other nations. This has resulted in America and many other Western countries, such as the G8 nations, becoming primarily consumers rather than producers. This shift has caused a significant imbalance in the global balance of trade and has also resulted in the closure of many factories in the West. Companies like Walmart have a major advantage over small businesses due to their ability to access factories and suppliers in China directly. This puts them in a much stronger position to offer lower prices than local businesses, making it difficult for small businesses to compete. Today in America and other Western nations, our middle class is shrinking as the middle class in China and India is growing. Are you able to service your own personal debt? This book does not take sides in the political arena. It does not blame any party or group for the state of our finances. Instead, it focuses on providing financial knowledge and tools to help individuals protect themselves from the effects of a lack of financial education and money management. It is no longer enough to rely on our government to solve our economic issues, as the challenges we face today are too big for them to handle. That is why our politicians tend to avoid discussing the underlying causes of our economic issues. The United States is widely regarded as having the highest standard of living in the world, largely due to the fact that it has become the world's largest debtor nation, and its currency, the US dollar, is the world's reserve currency. While this has allowed for a booming economy for many years, Donald and Robert fear that this situation is unsustainable and that a global economic correction on a massive scale is imminent. They believe that it is necessary to protect the poor and middle class by helping them become wealthy so they will not be hurt the most by the correction. This book is not about changing the world. This book does not aim to alter the world. Instead, its goal is to help individuals protect themselves from the rapid changes taking place in the world. Our politicians and government bureaucracy are unable to keep up with the pace of change and thus are unable to protect everyone from the consequences of these shifts. Therefore, it is essential for individuals to equip themselves with the knowledge and skills to prepare for and respond to the ever-changing world. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett have recently come together to use their wealth and influence to tackle some of the most pressing problems facing the world. This is a commendable effort, as money can be used to address a variety of issues, from hunger and homelessness to diseases such as cancer and AIDS. It is encouraging to see individuals with immense resources using them to make the world a better place. Money cannot solve poverty. Money alone cannot solve poverty. The underlying causes of poverty are complex and require more than just financial assistance. Throwing money at the issue of poverty only creates more poverty and traps people in it for longer. That's why Donald Trump and Robert are both teachers, knowing that the real solution to worldwide poverty is financial education, not money. If money could solve poverty, they would donate it, but since it cannot, they donate their time and a portion of this book's profits to organizations that help teach financial literacy. As you increase your financial knowledge, you will start to recognize opportunities all around you. When you achieve financial success, you can then help to change the world. This is what both Donald and Robert have done, coming together to teach others. The two men come from different backgrounds and have different perspectives, which is why the book is written in two typefaces. Garamond is used for Robert's stories and Trebuchet is used for Donald's direct and concise words. If you are open to learning, you can see the world through the eyes of these two successful men and expand your own views on money and what is possible. Seek knowledge and success will follow. Yes, we did produce a near-perfect republic, but will they keep it? Or will they, in their enjoyment of plenty, lose the memory of freedom? Material abundance without character is the surest way to destruction. Indeed, I tremble for my country when I reflect that God is just. Thomas Jefferson. The next video, Millionaire Meets Billionaire. Thank you for watching, and I hope you will become rich one day, and I promise to help you and give you everything you need to be able to walk the path of wealth. But be ready.